Can Lando Norris really beat Oscar Piastri at Monza or even mount a challenge in the championship as a whole? And after Ferrari's nightmare at Zandvoort, how can Lewis Hamilton and the Scuderia possibly find redemption at their home race? Let's dig into it. Oscar Piastri heads into Monza with the momentum of a driver who looks almost untouchable. He's already taken 7 wins this season and, perhaps more importantly, has been the only driver to score points in every single race so far. That consistency has given him a 34-point lead over Norris in the standings, and it's what makes him such a dangerous opponent over a long campaign. Lando, by comparison, has been quicker in bursts, but hasn't always converted pace into results, something that was brutally clear at Zandvoort, where he retired after an engine failure while Piastri went on to collect another strong haul of points. But Monza is different. The Temple of Speed is like no other track on the calendar. More than 3/4 of the lap is taken at full throttle, and braking stability through the Retifilo and Variante della Roggia chicanes is absolutely critical. It's a circuit that magnifies qualifying performance because overtaking, while possible thanks to DRS on the long straights, often comes down to track position. This is where Lando Norris has historically excelled. In fact, in 2024, he snatched pole position at Monza with a 1:19.327, edging Piastri by just over a tenth of a second. That lap also marked McLaren's first pole at Monza since Lewis Hamilton did it back in 2012. This matters because the pattern has continued. Across the 2025 season, Norris has averaged roughly 2/10 quicker than Piastri in qualifying, according to head-to-head data, and fan analyses put their Saturday record at 13-3 in Norris's favour. So while Piastri may hold the championship advantage and the edge in consistency, Monza amplifies Lando's greatest strength, raw one-lap pace. If he hooks it up on Saturday, takes pole, and keeps the lead through turn 1, he could control the race in a way that limits Piastri's usual calm, methodical ability to manage tyres and strategy. Slipstreaming is also a huge factor here. Norris has shown in previous races that he's clever at positioning himself to benefit from tows in qualifying, something that could give him those extra hundredths that make the difference at Monza. The big question is whether McLaren can give Norris the reliability he needs to capitalize. Zandvoort reminded everyone that a fast car is only half the equation. You need it to hold together under pressure. If it does, Norris has a genuine shot to outshine Piastri at Monza. Whether that translates into a season-long comeback is another matter entirely, but in the short term, the Temple of Speed might be the perfect stage for him to strike back. Now shifting to Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton, things couldn't feel more different. Zandvoort was a disaster. Hamilton lost control in wet, twitchy conditions and crashed out on lap 23, while Charles Leclerc collided with Andrea Kimi Antonelli later in the race, leaving Ferrari with the embarrassment of a double DNF. For Hamilton personally, it extended an unwanted record. 15 consecutive races without a podium since joining Ferrari, the second longest drought in the team's storied history. For a 7-time world champion, that's not the legacy he wants to build in red. And yet, buried beneath the disappointment, there were signs of progress. Team boss Fred Vasseur pointed out that Ferrari had made huge steps forward in pace over the Zandvoort weekend. On Friday, they were nearly 1.7 seconds off the McLarens. But by Saturday, that gap had been slashed dramatically. Analysts like Mark Hughes highlighted that while the results were disastrous, the underlying performance was among the best Ferrari have shown all year. That matters because Monza is next, Ferrari's home race, where the Tifosi flood the grandstands in a sea of red, where every lap brings deafening roars and every mistake draws groans of despair. The team is rolling out a retro livery to honor Niki Lauda's 1975 title, with Jean Alesi set to drive historic demonstration laps. The energy will be overwhelming, but with it comes pressure. Hamilton also carries a 5-place grid penalty from infractions at Zandvoort, which means he will need a near-perfect qualifying lap just to stay in the mix for Sunday. For Ferrari, the formula for redemption is clear but unforgiving. Qualify well despite the penalty. Avoid the kind of race-ending errors that plagued them in the Netherlands, and channel the Tifosi's passion into clean, disciplined execution. Hamilton, for his part, has been through this before. Monza is where he's delivered some of his finest career drives, and if he can steady the ship, a podium isn't impossible. That would go a long way toward lifting both his morale and Ferrari's. So, heading into Monza, we have two parallel storylines. On one side, McLaren's intra-team battle where Oscar Piastri's consistency collides with Lando Norris's raw speed. Monza's unique characteristics tilt the balance slightly toward Lando, giving him one of his best chances to claw back momentum in the title fight. On the other side, Ferrari and Hamilton face the weight of expectation at their home race after a humiliating double DNF. Redemption will depend not on magic, but on turning genuine pace into results, avoiding mistakes, and delivering under pressure. What do you think? Will Norris deliver a statement win against Piastri at Monza? Or will the Aussie's icy composure prevail once again? And can Hamilton finally end his podium drought and give the Tifosi something to cheer for? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.